Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Little France. It's Skip here, and today we are going to continue what we've started last time. We will build near Palais de Luxembourg from Paris. I really want to continue this particular area, and that's because it's a nice area, to be honest. So let's jump on the Google Earth before we start with the time lapses and whatnot. So, if you remember, last time we did this part with this intersection, a part of the park and some buildings here and there, plus the metro station, the second metro station. Today, what I'm going to do is, let's see, from here. I want to build this particular area, this complete particular area, which is in front of Palais de Luxembourg. And we will do some work on the intersections. There are a few intersections here. We will do some work on them. Some will not be completely similar to what is here, but some will be. We will do some parking areas in between here. We'll try to do this museum, this École Nationale d'Administration. It's a high school here, from what I see, like High School Montaigne, Lycée. Well, that's what we are going to try to go for in this episode. First things first, some road work here. I'm going to create few intersections because they are kind of needed, and I'm going to do even one intersection in my own way. Before doing that, I'm just going to fill in an empty area there in between the roads with some buildings. I totally love these buildings with these little, let's say, tower on the side. They are made by Feinbild. They are some German style ones, but you know what? They can also fit here in Little France. We can combine a little bit the architecture. You guys can close your eyes if you feel it's not that good. But I totally love them, and I really want to make them kind of work properly in France as well. There are, I mean, if you think about it, there are kind of lots of particularities, but also we can you can see like modern ones and less modern or less French style, hopefully. Anyways. And of course, in some areas where the buildings don't fit properly, procedural objects gives you a little bit of help, right? And we can stretch that building and make it fit exactly in that spot. Okay, because we are using the highway roads, I was like, okay, I need to continue my tram line there. So this is something that it's not in Paris or somewhere else. And I'm adding the tram line with some grass on it, which is only for trams, to go parallel with the boulevard itself. In between the buildings here, I'm going to fill in that area with some curbs. And then those curbs going to be filled in with some ploppable pavement to make them look really good, like it's so cars can actually don't drive there. Of course, all the ugly areas can be filled with will be filled with probable asphalt, so we have no glitches or ugly areas. Oh, I said ploppable pavement. Sorry, it's ploppable grass in between because I wanted to add some trees as well. My bad, my mistake. And after that, I just added some. There are some Japanese little islands, curbs, those yellow with black ones. There are some Japanese style islands, little islands, yeah. So cars can actually see them during the nights, and not only, so they know exactly how to avoid hitting the concrete curb there or something. And in the little intersection there with the tram line, I also did the same thing, but it's a bit more tedious work because I have a sunken road, and then this sunken road meets the flat road by that highway road, which is flat. and that thing gives you an extra work because I have to play a bit with the height of each particular corner of this ploppable pavement, asphalt or grass. It depends what I'm using. Cool. After all this work is being done, the cars are actually driving really good in this intersection. Maybe not in the videos that you see here, and that's because we didn't finish the area here, so we don't have that much of traffic. Later I'm going to link a highway with this particular zone here to make cars actually come from a different way into the city. Okay, now on this other little, let's say, road which is in between these other two boulevards, call them, I went for a parking area. So I plopped, like, I created down two parallel one-way roads, highway roads, and then in between I plopped there is a parking network on the workshop that allows you to those works like there are invisible parking lots there, and cars are actually parking there, which is really cool. So I did that, and cars will actually park there later on when they come by the street there, and they will park. I try to detail as much as possible this particular area, but not that much. I didn't want to go that crazy, but I kind of did it, let's say, with some necessary little details, like covering the ugly areas, adding crossings, some little planters, road signs. I'm not going to do that many this kind of let's say detailing with road signs, but they kind of give you an extra look and of course a better look to the area when you do that. I even added on the ground there are some like ticket machines for those who want to park there. This is it's a payable parking area, let's imagine, of course. And that's what I kind of did. And I detailed all the pedestrians areas as well. Because these are not sunken roads, I need to add bollards manually on the roadside, because otherwise it will look very dangerous. In real life, because the roads are kind of sunken, you have that curb, concrete curb, that, let's say, protect you, or not protect you, but at least, let's say, avoid cars driving on the pedestrian area as much as possible, at least not with speed. And I added some like trees, planters, some bicycles there. There are some really cool Japanese style parking bicycle, really cool, really cool ones. And after that I went back to build and continue the build of the Jardin du Luxembourg, which is actually the park in front of the palace itself. Just a tiny bit of it was already done. I had to just continue with the other side. Let's say almost half was done. Well, it's easier to do the other half because, copy paste does the trick. And I just added some extra trees. I will later add some benches and some lights, some statues in the middle there, but all these kind of things at its own time. Right in front of the palace of the entrance, there is a cobblestone little road there. So I will do the same thing. I'm going to add a road there and cover it with cobblestones, because we can do that, of course. I already have the cobblestones there, and there is also a gate in front of the palace. So I had to look for some fences on the workshop, and I found some really nice ones. Like they even have a little golden arrow on top of there. So there are like two of them actually on the workshop, two styles like this, but one is kind of not that good looking, so I had to choose between those, and I chose the one less bad looking, let's call it. Yeah. And on the road, on the cobblestone side, I added some bollards, which are turned into procedure objects after I prop them down with the prop tool, and then just a little bit of painting will do the entire trick. This is the fence I was talking about. Unfortunately, the recording didn't properly work when I plopped them down, but it's not that hard to imagine how to plop down some fences, right? Which are turned into just some procedural objects. But I'm gonna show you very soon on the Google Earth. There is a concrete area there, right next to this entrance. So I had to add some concrete curbs where these ones I'm adding those all over the places in Little France. These are made by Arnold Riemer, and I will fill in the entire area. Let's see here, I think it's better. So this is the entrance in front of the palace itself. This is the park, which is right beneath us, and we have bollards here. And at a point I was thinking, hey, what's the purpose of having bollards if there is an entrance actually? Well, it beats me. I don't know. Maybe we can. Maybe these chains can be taken down. I don't even know. Or probably this entrance is not going to be used anymore, so pedestrians can walk everywhere. But as you can see here, there is a little taller area for pedestrians. So that's what I also did in my build here. Let's do a little jump there in front of this entrance. So I use the bollards as well, not chain bollards, but simple bollards like these ones, and I've added these concrete pedestrian areas and for the entrances here, even though I have a gate as well there. And right next there to the entrance, there is an underground road. I mean, a road that goes into a tunnel, and I'm very curious what's actually there. Is there someone on the here on the chat that knows what is there? Maybe it's a parking area, or I don't know. I have no idea yet, but it's interesting. We shall see. Maybe this way we can actually tackle the build in a future episode where I'm doing the palace properly. Good. Beside this, I will just do a bit more of defense at the entrance here. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to show you the build of the palace itself, or not in this episode, in a future episode. I want to try to finish as much as possible near the palace itself. This particular area, because it will look much better together, the cinematics and not only. Here on this side of the entrance, there is another little district or some residential buildings. Yay to me, because you guys know how much I love plopping down buildings. Yes, I know, it's a hate of mine. I like to do some stuff like that, but probably I'm doing this for almost 4 years, and I don't know, I don't like it anymore. I feel at a point there is an end or a limit of how many buildings I can add in a city, manually I mean. I should start using some zoning, right? Anyways, let me do more intersections build, because I will be happy for sure. Cool. This is going to be filled in pretty fast, I want to say, but it will look pretty cool eventually in the end, especially when I'm going to do the overview of the entire build for today and discuss a bit on the Google Earth and not only. You guys will kind of see exactly how it looks at the end, or in the end. And not bad, actually, really not bad at all. I'm pretty happy with the final look. Now, getting back on the other side of the park, of the Jardins du Luxembourg, I still have a few other little, let's say, areas to fill in with some residential buildings. And not only, I'm doing here a little entrance to a backyard there where will be some green areas. I will plop down some benches together with some trees. Well, everything needed to make this look as it is there in real life. Of course, give or take, because I don't actually what's beneath there, because from Google Earth I can see only the trees, and from street level I can only see the road. Now continuing with the next area where is the other little, it's Faculté de Pharmacie de Paris. Oh my god, me trying to read that in French. So it's, we have there this Faculté University of Pharmacy. I found a building. I turned it into a procedural object. I get rid of the extra ugly stuff there, and then I plopped it down once more in mirror. I'm looking for other buildings to try to match as much as possible, let's say, the looks of the one from real life. So in order to achieve that, I had to add few buildings, and it in the end will look pretty okay. I even found this little French high school that also fits there behind there. Not bad. And in front I made an entrance with the fence, a little pathway with some green areas. Not that much, because in real life it's also not that much there inside. And yeah, I'm happy with the result there. Honestly, I'm really am happy. But all those roads that you see there, oh my god, so some trucks, we have some trucks there on the roads. All those roads will have a network parking area as well, so can the cars can actually park there on the roads itself. But I will show you those in a bit after this time lapse will be finished, so you guys can actually do understand what I'm talking about. Now let's take care of the last area here. It's the place where École Nationale d'Administration Lycée Montaigne takes place. Guys, people, everyone, if there's someone from France or someone who knows French, I'm sorry. I'm doing my very best, so you guys should actually at least, I don't know, be happy with that, because I'm trying. So there is a high school and something else there. I'm trying to do those buildings as well. I turned into procedural objects some of the buildings. I needed some buildings with a red roof. Probably I could have used something else, but I wanted to have some red roofs there too. I found also a building made by Armesto. I gave it this little, let's say, a different type of meaning, because that one is a palace or something like that, and we just plop stuff for the looks to make it more, let's say, more or less similar to the existing one in real life. All these, both the university and high school and whatever, they have a backyard there too. Probably this is more for the faculty. Oh my god, the University of Pharmacy. It has this, so it's a park behind park, let's call it, for the university only. I saw some interesting looking like how do you call those, greenhouses? But I'm not going to add greenhouses. I am adding some pathways only, some little green planters and not and whatnot, plus some trees, bushes, flowers, everything necessary to give a nice look. You know, I have to give my own touch to the entire build here too, not only to just let's say take inspiration from real life. But all in all, I'm super happy with the final result we have there. And yeah, I think you know what? I think we should end the time lapse here. I didn't do anything else beside these. Yeah, let's do a jump on the Google Earth and in the city so you guys can see. Okay, So, this is the looks from the Google Earth again, as we were talking about earlier. Of course, at the beginning of the video, I was showing you what we do. So, we finished this particular area. It was done completely, this big, huge triangle here with these high school, university here. I was telling you that look like some greenhouses and whatnot. And everything at this particular area as well. It's from here, right? So if we move like this, this is what we actually do have here. So we did these particular areas. We did the this is the university place and the high school. I just added some little I don't know, basketball field, a small basketball field inside there for the looks probably, and whatnot. So it looks quite interesting. Beside this, I've also done here in the middle of this, I've added some statues. I know they are not the best statues. I actually wanted to add these statues that looks like they are cut from a strange movie, a bad movie, you know, like it's very. But I like these kind of things. I've seen in real life actually these kind of statues that are, you know, it's a different type of art, let's call it. Each part of this little park has an entrance with a fence, hedges. I plopped down some lawn inside there, benches. Here we have benches and whatnot. Little details, like little, let's call these wet. Yeah, this is the wetness. It's called in a game. It's a decal. Looks like it's a little. It's water on the ground, right? The tunnel, we will figure it out what this is about. Well, this is going to be done in a future episode, and it's going to be shown. But more or less, it looks fine. It looks really good and fine. I'm happy with the result. I'm happy. So I was telling you that we have here, this is a two-way highway road. And we have here on one side, we have network parkings. And in order to avoid cars driving there, I had to use these, the lane connector to make use only of one lane. So we don't want to see cars driving through all the parked cars there, right? Here you should turn right, and that's a good thing, right? Yes, of course it is. It was just a rhetorical question. So this is how I did, and I worked with these roads that are two-lane one-way roads, both on the side, on this side as well, and here. So I actually, cars can actually do park. All these crossings here are done with some. If you look, we have invisible pathways here. I know cars might not stop, but actually they do slow down a lot when someone is crossing. But I don't care that much. This is the parking area between these roads, between these buildings, sorry. It's also working, the one that I was showing you earlier. Maybe it's not like in, not maybe, for sure. For sure it's not like in real life there. And here we have the tram track line, which is parallel with this boulevard, and yeah, we have a stop here for because it's necessary. But if we look at like this one will be redone, of course, later. It looks like that just because I need it to work. I need the tram track to work. And I was telling you at the beginning of the video somewhere there. So we have here. This is a highway connection, and before it was like taking cars only here to the Bercy interchange here, and this is one of the entrances from the city. This is a secondary entrance to the city. This is a third entrance to the city, and here we have the fourth one. But I wanted to have here like this ugly interchange, so cars can actually take another let's say road to get inside the city. So because I wanted to have some traffic on this particular area too, you know. Yeah, it makes more sense and it looks more much better this way. Cool, guys, I think this is it. Let's kick in with the cinematics. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave some comments, because I really do appreciate reading some comments. And if you did enjoy this video, and yeah, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more and if you want to see more of my work. But till next time, take care, guys. Stay safe, and I salute you.